Good morning. My name is Tayo Olosunde. I'm the principal partner of eGreen Services. eGreen Services is a sustainable human capital and corporate social investment management company. eGreen Services is also the coordinator of the Mind the Gap mentoring program for the NYSC. Talking about my experience, I usually start from my birthday. I was born on October 1st, 1970, at a time when everybody consider the October 1st as a special day. So my father actually named me Abiodun because as far as it's concerned, October 1st was such a very precious day. Academic experience, I had my first degree in sociology and anthropology. And because of passion, because of my area of interest, I consider, the course I study as initially was like a mistake. But over time, I got to realize that the course fit perfectly into my personality, and it wasn't something that I showed struggle, to be a part of. So during my service year, also at a place where almost everybody would want to go to, in a place called Zamfara State, that I consider perhaps the best place anybody can serve in Nigeria. I had one of the most amazing youth service experience, because it was during that youth service that I truly discovered a whole lot of things about my career. Because yes, initially the whole idea was to go for the initial youth service and get out immediately after the camping experience. But over time, when I saw the level of suffering of the young people in the school that was being used for our service, it dawned on me that perhaps I have a calling, perhaps a passion, to actually get Nigerian youths, on board. And one word that struck me, that really defined my career and also defined my prejudice about this country, is that everybody used to think that, oh, Nigerian money is enough. But when I saw the kind of suffering of all these young people, it dawned on me that really, perhaps the young people in the South are enjoying even more than the young people in the North. So I told myself, I just needed to do something about it. So my service year was exclusively dedicated to ensuring we can give the young people in the North that I met, a better life. So after that, I actually stayed back in Zamfara State for quite some time, because everybody just thought, oh, Zamfara State, 1999 is the time when they were killing people. But I said, oh, guess what? I'm going to stay here. There's a lot of opportunity in this place. There's a lot of things you can really do. And by the way, so I did my service year. When I finished, I stayed back. It was until later, I later realized, okay, yes, I need to go back to the South. On going back to the South, which is the beginning really of my career, I was quite sure what I wanted to do, because service year gave me the opportunity to really know, where my area of interest is. And so when I got back to town, which was basically Ibadan, the first thing I could do with myself was say, okay, what I was doing during my service year, let me continue. So I registered a business, and that business called Cottonage Academy basically was to more like look at young people around me who are not doing anything and try and see how we can really create opportunity for them. And I started it in a very little way, apparently in a church. And over time, we were able to kind of have a couple of achievements that became quite a celebrity, issue, in my church and a couple of, people around me. So after that, it was really, and I like to say this to people, I was sure what I wanted to do. I knew I wanted to actually be in HR, because right from my degree days, especially my 300 level, we had a course that talks about exactly what I wanted to do, which was human capital development. And so getting out of, during service year, going back to the finishing service, getting out there wasn't a big deal. I knew what I wanted to do. And that's why I tell a lot of young people that, look, it's not about the country. It's about you looking inward and say to yourself, really, what do I want to do? But it wasn't that easy, by the way, because there are a whole lot of things to face in terms of challenges, But over time, because of what I was doing, someone called me one day, said, look, Tayo, is this all you have always wanted to do in your life? Let's make it something that is a whole lot more like an organization. While people were talking about NGOs, I wasn't so passionate about being an NGO. In fact, I hated the idea of NGO. I just felt that, look, I mean, like one of my senior friends told me, Tayo, why do you want to join all those fools who cannot turn money around? You give them more money, they'll come back again to ask for more money. NGOs are just a bunch of people that don't know what they want to do. So initially, I just didn't like the NGO thing. So I registered a limited liability company, but guess what? What I wanted to do is like NGO. So it was a whole lot of struggle to realize that somebody can really solve problems and make money. But it was later on when I was going through the newspaper, it wasn't actually high. It was the person that became my chairman who was going through the newspaper and saw something about social entrepreneurship. And was like, Tayo, are you aware there is this thing about solving problems and making money? I said, is there anything like that? I said, I'm interested. And I began to study the life of Muhammad Yunus as a de facto social entrepreneur that I knew then. And by the time I finished a study of Muhammad Yunus' life, I was ready to actually be the person that would more like then in 2009, more like create a flagship for social entrepreneurship in Nigeria. So for me, it was doing my passion and people now finding opportunity to connect their brand aspiration even onto what I'm doing. So that's how, in the course of the time, I got a first opportunity to work with Access Bank, because it was one bank that was very passionate about the quality of people they employ. So from that, I got first opportunity to get paid for doing what I'm doing. Then we did it. From that, you moved to, working with Etisalat. From that, you moved to working with Google. You moved to working with Microsoft. You moved to working with GSK. You moved to working to, the number of companies that we work with, had gone, had increased over time, because we later realized that organizations are also trying to align their own corporate aspiration with the need of the community. And finding that niche became such a very big issue for me, because suddenly I realized that for every single person that wants to solve a social problem, really, you're not meant to actually solve its suffering. They can solve a social problem intelligently and as a social entrepreneur. And it started, from also being able to kind of develop a model through which you can say, okay, when we partner with this organization, we solve the social problem, but at the same time, we create, a financial model that can help us to be sustainable. Because no matter how passionate you are about your vision, if it's not sustainable, it becomes a problem. No matter how passionate you are about saving the world, if you can't pay for the cost of saving the world, you become quite unsustainable. So we began the process of, propagating the idea of social entrepreneurship. And till date, I can say to you, it's been quite encouraging. Till date, in eGreen, through our flagship program called Mind the Gap with the NYC, we must have inspired, mentored in excess of 500,000 young people. And when I say that, we go, oh, please. Because in the last 4 years, we've been in close about 10 states. And I found out that in each one of all these states, all these young people are just eager to find purpose. And anywhere we get to, everybody just wants to be a part of what we're doing. Today we have in excess of 100 people who are doing very well, working in banks, working in telecoms, working everywhere. The other day I entered into a telecoms company and I found out that we have 17 people who have passed through Mind the Gap working in that organization. When we did the last program we did, I found out that part of the people that were asked to come and supervise us were also Mind the Gap, proteges. And so for me, it's very impactful to realize that whilst we are doing what you want to do, you're passionate about, you can actually begin to find purpose. Today, like I said, when I entered Lagos, we entered with a briefcase and a small bag. We can't be sent out of Lagos anymore these days because we are landowners, all right? And we are a part owner of what is happening in Lagos. So for me, it's about finding purpose. And for me, really also, defining a career is not enough in finding a job that pays you, your wherewithal, or traveling abroad, or dressing well. No. For me, a great career is something that pushes you up to a level where you can actually shape policy, where you can actually be a part of the people that are actually determining what happens in that industry. For me, I believe that a very solid career starts from processes to people to profit to policy, becoming a phenomenon. And that is why when I met my current mentor, who is Dr. Spakolade, who is quite a phenomenon, I said to myself, look, this is a benchmark for my life. So being able to be involved in shaping youth issues, at this time of my life is something that I'm so grateful for. And I believe that once everybody found their purpose, it is very, very easy for you to actually, fulfill your destiny. I'm not where I want to be, but trust me, there is a path that looks so beautiful. And all I can say is, look, this land is green. If you can just find a problem you can solve in Nigeria, the problem in Nigeria is so huge that nobody has the right to say, I can't find anything to do. So I believe in the concept of social entrepreneurship. I believe that this country is a great place to stay. And I believe that if all of us can really find a need and meet it, all of us are really going to find something to do with our lives. And we're all going to make this country a better place.